Everyone, welcome to my live teaching. Today I am your friend TEMPLE-ANOZIE. I want to start today by discussing the chapter 2 of this wonderful textbook I have here. What causes the menses? If you have not gotten a copy of this textbook, chat me up so that you get a copy. Anywhere you are in the world, I will wave it to you. Get a copy of this textbook. Now, the price is just 3,000 naira. So I am going to start. The last time I was live, I discussed what is natural family planning and sex selection. For those of you that joined me, but those of you that didn't join me, you have to start from the chapter 2, what causes the menses. As I said earlier, my name is TEMPLE-ANOZIE, but my Facebook name is TEMPLE-ANOZIE. I am a lecturer in the Department of Health Education in one of the universities in Owerri, Nigeria. I'm a marriage counselor. I've been teaching people about marriages, what they will do to get children of their choices. If they're looking for a boy or a girl, what would you would do to have it? Using natural family planning, sex selection, sex education. For couples that have gotten the number of children they want and they don't know how to stop, I will also teach you about to go about that. For people that have stayed for many years and you have not gotten children, I will also teach you what to do to have it, because a lot of people are fertile but they cannot conceive because they cannot pinpoint the actual day of their ovulation. I am your teacher today, so I want whenever you stay with me during the live program for you to come with your exercise book, because I believe you have a lot of questions to ask me. I am live for people that cannot reach me because I'm in Owerri in Nigeria. A lot of people all over there have this issue. So I want you to use this platform to enrich yourself, to learn more information, because they say knowledge is power, information is power. A lot of people today are ignorant about this knowledge. So get this knowledge and you get everything. What causes the menses? I want you to understand that before you begin to chart your cycle, before you can plan having a boy or a girl, before you can decide to conceive, you have to understand what causes the menses. I want you to know that the menses are caused by the breakdown of the net. Before the egg is released in each cycle, the uterus makes a net by thickening the lining of the uterus for the uterus for the possible pregnancy. When there is no conception, the egg dies on the same day, usually 12 hours of the time it was released, called ovulation. The egg immediately breaks up and disappears. Nobody is aware of it because it is so tiny. The net is not needed anymore, and so it begins to break down. It takes roughly 2 weeks for the breakdown to be completed. 2 weeks from the time of ovulation, which is called the peak. The breakdown net then leaves the body as menses. The menses occurs about 2 weeks after the peak. The sperm is very sensitive to its environment, and unless it is protected, the environment of the vagina is very bad for it. It is not viable for conception unless it is protected by fertile mucus. Thereupon, it can be fully alive and able to fertilize for 5 days at the very most. Any sperm still alive after 5 days is non-viable for conception, but most sperms are dead long before that. Unless fetal mucus is present, the sperm is unable to fertilize the egg and it cannot cause conception. Now, I am going to use diagram to explain to you how menses happen. You can see a lot of women have, okay, let me say 28. The normal cycle of every woman is 28 days. Some have 28 days, some 90, 29, 30 to 35, others 26. But let me use 28-day cycle of a woman. For instance, some women, their menses do last for 4 days, some 5 days, some 1 week. Now, I'm going to use 5 days now. Anytime you see your menses, you call it day 1. During that time, you will see the menses will shed. The endometrium, that is the uterus, will just break down, and because there is no conception, it will break down and come out as menses. The first day of a menstrual period is considered the 1 of your menses. Now, day 5 is when your period for normal woman will end. The hormone estrogen signal the endometrium to grow and thicken. Now, on day 14, you can see the endometrium will thicken. An egg is released from the ovary and move into one of the fallopian tube on day 14. On day 28, if the egg is not fertilized, hormone level decrease and the endometrium shed during menstruation. So I want you to note all this. Very, very important. How your cycle. You will see some people will say that their doctor will tell them that when they are looking for a boy, assuming you are a 28-day cycle, that you should meet your husband on day 14. Please, my friend, my love, you are not going to do that. For you to get your cycle correctly, you have to chart your cycle. That is why I normally tell people, buy exercise book. Women, get this textbook and read it. For me, I believe in, remember I am a lecturer, I believe in you getting a test. I am the author of this book. I did thorough research using many books in Nigeria, outside Nigeria. I did a lot of research. It took me 7 years to come up with this textbook, this knowledge. And it's self-explanatory, starting from what is natural family planning and how you go about that. When you read it thoroughly, you will understand how your menstrual cycle works. You will know whether you're in a 28-day cycle, 29, 40, you will know how it works. Then you will now begin to know how the menstrual cycle works. For you to know, some will tell you on the 14th day, if you want to have a boy, meet your husband on the 14th day. No! You don't have to do that. You're supposed to know by using the signs and symptoms that comes out of a woman's body. You will check it using different methods. I used to tell women, wash your hand with soap and water before you check the mucus, or you use clean toilet roll to check it, then begin to stretch it in between your hand to know when the one that look like the white of an cooked egg is coming out. And prepare very well. We use mucus method, we use calendar method, we use temperature to predict all these things. Now, how does menstrual cycle works? Before we proceed to the actual techniques of determining ovulation time, let us go over a few of the basics related to the dynamics of the menstrual cycle. As you can see in my figure 1 and 2, the cycle is said to begin with the first day of bleeding. Bleeding often lasts from 3 to 7 days or 4 to 7 days. It may vary from cycle to cycle because it is not the same for all women. About 5 days of bleeding appears to be the average, though there may still be some slight spotting of the blood after that. The bleeding occurs when the lining of the uterus is shed. This shedding occurs each month in normal fertile women, provided that they have not, in the course of the preceding cycle, become pregnant. There can be other reasons for a woman not to experience her period, and she should consult her doctor or health expert, or you contact me if she misses her period. Now let us look at menstrual cycle. Remember, I told you I'm a health consultant too, so you can call me, you can chat me after my teaching if you have any question to ask me. Let us look at menstrual cycle. Over the period, once the period is over, a structure called follicle in the ovary begins to ripen. I want you to follow me to understand how this menstrual cycle works. Listen to this, my message. Understand it, how it works. Once the period is over, because your period normally lasts either 4 days, 5 days, or 1 week. The first day of your menses, you call it day 1. Once the period is over, a structure called follicle in the ovary begins to ripen, preparing for the release of the egg that is contained within it. All these events are under the control of hormones, which are turned on and off at the appropriate time by the hypothalamus and pituitary glands of the brain. Once the follicle starts ripening, it releases a hormone of its own estrogen. It is the estrogen that helps turn the bleeding off and promote the healing of the uterus lining. Estrogen helps get the womb ready for another attempt at pregnancy. It also makes the cervical secretion more hospitable to sperm as ovulation approaches. The first half of the menstrual cycle, dominated as it were by the ovarian follicle and the estrogen it produces, is often called the follicular phase of the cycle. Ovulation itself, which is the actual release of the egg from the follicle. I have explained the meaning of ovulation. A lot of people don't even know the meaning of ovulation. Ovulation itself is the actual release of the egg from the follicle. It is stimulated by another pituitary hormone called the luteinizing hormone, LH. Other hormones have ripened the egg and brought it to the surface of the ovary, where it bulges outward in its follicle. Luteinizing hormone, which surges some hours before ovulation occurs, give the egg the extra kick before ovulation occurs. It needs to burst from the follicle and pass into the fallopian tube, where if pregnancy is to occur, it must be fertilized by the sperm. After the luteinizing hormone surge, the peaking of the estrogen and ovulation have occurred. The now eggless follicle assume a new identity as the corpus luteum or yellow body, which is what it resembled. The corpus luteum is a structure on the surface of the ovary that begins secreting a new hormone right after ovulation takes place. That hormone is called progesterone. The second half of the cycle, the post-ovulatory part, is called the luteal phase of the cycle. After the corpus luteum and the progesterone that it produces. Progesterone causes rapid development of the endometrial lining of the womb, so that it will be able to hold and nourish the fertilized egg should one show up. The progesterone has a number of effects. One of these particular important to would be cell selectors is that it abruptly changes the nature of the cervical secretion, making it more difficult for sperm to penetrate into the female reproductive tract. If no egg is fertilized in the course of the menstrual cycle, then the corpus luteum shuts down and withers away. The hormone that have been preparing and maintaining the lining of the uterus of the womb for possible pregnancy are turned off. The lining of the womb begins to degenerate and shed. It is ejected via the monthly bleeding called period. One cycle thus ends and a new one begins. As depicted in my textbook in figure 2, the average cycle is 28 days, beginning with the first day of bleeding and ending on the day before bleeding begins anew at the start of the cycle. The average day of ovulation is day 14, midway through the cycle if you're a woman of 28-day cycle. But please note that we are using the word average. Most women do ovulate close to the middle of their cycle, but there is considerable variability from women to women, and even within individual women from month to month. Remember the last time I did teaching, I told you there are some women with a very short cycle of 18 to 19 days. Those people can see their ovulation at the end of their menses. But what I'm teaching today is for women with normal cycle of 26, 27 to 35 days. A few women have irregular cycles, the length of which cannot be predicted from month to month. Some others have consistently short cycle or consistently long cycle. Cycle of 24 days occur as the cycle of 40 days. Generally, though, there is more regularity than irregularity, and most women can have noticed, a lot of women have noticed this. Even those with highly regular cycles, however, must be aware that various forms of physical and psychological stress, illness, change of eating, sleeping patterns, smoking, heavier than normal intake of alcohol, environmental changes, all these things can affect the menstrual cycle. A lot of factors can affect the cycle of a woman. You will see a woman today, imagine a fertile woman this month, her period may last for 28 days. Maybe next month she's sick, or she has passed a lot of stress, or because of the environmental factor, you see their periods keep changing. So I want you to know that is why I used to tell women, buy exercise book, at least 20 leaves, begin to chart your cycle. I saw my period today, you write the one. You know when your period is starting for that month and when it is ending. It will help you to predict. You check what is coming out of your vagina from your body. Some women, you will see that what is coming out is yellowish. They have infection. You know how to predict. Know whether you have itching. Whether what is coming out is a normal mucus. Normal mucus is clear. Is when you see it, even the odor is, you see it. It's like fruit. Unlike the ones that have infection. And I want you to know that if you want to practice natural family planning, you don't need to have infection, because it will contradict natural family planning. Therefore, if you're a woman, you have infection, treat all manner of infection before you can start. And you have to have good cycle. You have to have at least every month. You now begin, you at your reproductive age. Let me continue. I have said it that there are certain things that affect the normal cycle of a women, for women, like women that drinks a lot. There's a women that smokes. There's a women that drink a lot of alcohol. These are the things when you are sick, stress. These are the things that affect the normal cycle of a woman. The good news is that even many of those with irregular cycle can still determine the possible time of ovulation within menstrual cycles. The complex biochemical events that occur during the menstrual cycle are dramatic, even to manifest themselves in psychological changes that can be detected, often with considerable accuracy, right in the home. Let us now review the different methods of determining the time of ovulation. Remember, here we have different methods you can use to determine your ovulation. We have cervical mucus method. We have cervical mucus method in a majority of women still provide the most useful and predictable information at the lowest cost. We also have body temperature charting. Most of you, I will tell you, these are the three methods. In this textbook, I have 3 methods you can use to predict your ovulation. The cervical mucus method, which is called Billings method. This one is the one you can use. A lot of women. Now, let me explain it where you will understand it. Chart your cycle. I have talked about how menstrual cycle works. All you need to do is to buy exercise book, 20 leaves or 40 leaves. we are in the month of August. Today is 6th. You write, I saw my period on the 6th. You write it day 1. You use red biro and circle it. From day 1 of your menses, till when it will stop, maybe it is ending on the 4th or 5th, you circle it. Note when you are starting your menses and when it is finishing. Then, after it finished, you begin to note it. I used to tell women, if you are a woman with normal cycle of 28, let me say 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, this preaching is for you. If you have a normal cycle and you don't have infection, because a lot of women have infection, they don't even understand. You see, those things will be coming out. Check out the things that, look at the color. If it is yellowish, you have infection, my sister. You have to consult a medical doctor. Or I have healthy products that will clean all the nyama, all the infection in your system. You contact me, I will give you a biomedicine that will clean it off and prepare your body for normal cervical mucus. Cervical mucus is, when you see it, it is not clear. It's just like the normal, like your abdomen. It changes. It will be thick from when once it start reaching the ovulation. The color will begin to change. It will look like the white of an uncooked egg. It doesn't have smell. It's like fruit. It's very good. So I want you to know that once it will, let me say, a woman of 28-day cycle. Let me use for instance, a woman of 28-day cycle. You saw your period, let me say, on the 6th of this August 2023, call it day 1. Maybe it's ending on the 5th. I used to tell women from 26 to 35, 2 days after your menses, you can meet your husband without conception. Like, you can use natural family planning to predict when you meet your husband and not to take in. It acts as a family planning. 5 days after your menses, the 2 days there is your free day, because that time the mucus will be blocking the opening of the vagina. Once a man secretes, release sperm, it will not swim because there is no space for it to enter. And even when it is coming out, you will see that most women are dry at that time. Most women don't notice anything at all. But once it reaches 8, let me say 6, day 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, on the 8th day, you will begin to notice the presence of cervical mucus. On that day, if you don't want to conceive, you abstain from 8 through 12 days. We call it fertile days. You abstain if you don't want to conceive. But if you want to conceive, you want to have a boy, you want to have a girl, it is within that 12 days that you will now meet your husband and have a boy. It is within that time you meet your husband and have a girl, which I am coming to that in my next teaching. So we can use 3 methods to predict your cervical mucus. We have cervical mucus method, that is called Billings method. The one you use those things, we call it cervical mucus that comes out of your vagina to predict when you have a boy, to predict when you have a girl, to predict when you have children. One thing that is confusing this is that ovulation occurs only 24 to 48 hours, and once it is over, nothing. It is that time you predict when the egg comes out for you to know when to have your children, know when to have a boy, know when to have a girl. It is through that you know when to abstain. For people that have completed their family size, you don't want to have a girl, but you don't know how to preselect. You don't know how to avoid. It is that time you will have abstain within that 12 days. You abstain. For a man, you can be look for something doing, you can be praying, you can be doing something. You don't need to meet your wife at that particular just 12 days. I want to tell you that we have more free days in a cycle. Don't be punishing your husband using protective method, using this. When you have your body, our God has positioned ourselves for you to enjoy your marriage. There are certain days you meet your husband and you will not conceive. There are certain days you meet your husband and have children. There are certain days you can meet your husband and have a boy. There are certain days you can meet your husband and have a female child. There are certain days. Now, God has already positioned our body. It is now for us to understand this, to understand how to predict this cycle, and then know how to go about that. Like I have said, the 3 methods you can use to predict your ovulation, your predict when to have a boy or a girl, have your children, is cervical mucus method, what we call Billings method. We have temperature method. You buy thermometer, digital thermometer. You can buy it here in the morning after your menses, the 8th day. I said on the 8th day, before you can have anything come out of the bed to pray, to do anything, you put your digital thermometer in your armpit for 3 minutes. Then you take the reading. By a size, take the reading. You will do it from that age throughout your ovulation time. You do it not when you are sick. Treat yourself, because you won't. When you are sick, the temperature will go up. So I don't want you to confuse yourself when you are sick and when the temperature is going up. Try to teach yourself. Be in good health before you use thermometer. The thermometer, which when used properly, can also be very helpful, especially in women with regular or fairly irregular cycle. It is recommended that women use both methods during the test cycles, in which they can try to determine their time of ovulation. We also have another method called calendar method. Still provide useful information, especially with women with regular cycle. I will tell you how to coordinate all of these methods, and if one method does not work for you, then another is likely to do so. So in my next teaching, I am going to teach you, that is the chapter 3. That is the cocoa, the main thing. So I want, wherever you are, listening to this voice, my voice message, wherever you are listening to this voice, I want you to prepare yourself. I will tell you when I am coming live to teach you how to pre-select the sex of your baby and child spacing. That is the main thing, the chapter 3. I am going to teach you how you are going to use a cervical method to get that boy or a girl you're looking for. I will teach you how to use those signs that comes out of your body to know when you will have a boy or have a girl, to know when you will space your children, for those that have completed their family size, to know when your ovulation will come, for you to. A lot of people, especially in Nigeria, a lot have girls, they cannot have a boy, and because of that, their husband have decided to go and marry another wife. No, you don't need to do that. Most of people are dying because of lack of knowledge. Most marriages today have crumbled because of lack of knowledge. That is to say, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Get this knowledge, and you are fortified. Women, chart your cycle. You can predict the number of children you want to have. You may decide to have 5 children. Maybe you have decided with your husband that you want to have 5. You will now ask yourself, how many boys do I want to have? How many girls? You now begin to work towards that. You can actually do that. I used to tell people, you know, to predict a boy is far more easier than girls. A lot of people keep having girls. Yes, because you know, after the menses, once you start sleeping with your husband, girl comes before the boy. That is why you have to chart your cycle. So I want you to follow me in this teaching carefully. Follow all my teachings. I am going to exhaust this textbook so that you will know. Then, for people that need private consultation, my office is at Owerri, Kina Health Consult Services Limited, located at number 90 Amaka here in Owerri. You call my number, you book appointment with me, with you and your husband. I am going to teach you, I'm going to guide you so that you will not make mistakes. A lot of people, there is a couple that have gotten 5 girls, no boy. It was when in fact, the husband wanted to go and marry. It was a woman that ran to me. I told her, are you still sleeping with your husband? She said, yes. I said, okay, since I am going to help you. To God be the glory, I helped the woman. She got her baby boy. The other one, 4 girls, no boy. I helped them. The other one have stayed 6 years. have gone to so many places in search of 2 children. This is a very short, a woman with a short cycle of 18 to 19 days. The man don't know that she's supposed to sleep with the wife during her menses. But she's the type that said, no, I will not do that. And they have been going about wasting money on something. Because of lack of knowledge. It was when they came, I told the wife, start your cycle. It was then I discovered that the woman has a very short cycle of 18 to 19 days. I told the wife, sleep with your wife. Although the woman told me, go for me. But after 2 months, the woman took in and had a boy. So a lot of people are wallowing in ignorance. A lot of people have made a lot of mistakes because of this lack of information. I want you to be empowered. My name is Kina. My Facebook name is Kina Chinyeranwachuku. Search for my Facebook. Follow me wherever you are. If you have someone you love and you want the person to get this knowledge, a lot of marriages today have crumbled because of this inability of having children. Let the person up. My Facebook page is Nwachukwu Kina Chinyere. Search my name and then follow me. Share this page to people all over the world for them to join in this teaching. By the time I'm done with this teaching, you'll be empowered. Thank you and God bless you. Wait for me on my next topic, which is pre-selecting the sex of your baby boy and a girl, and also child spacing. For people that have turned 50 years, you have loose hope that you are not going to follow me on this page. I will teach you a lot of health facts, things you need to know. I'm going to teach a lot of things. After this, I have a lot of things, health, or what we eat, a whole lot of things. Get ready for me. I am your lecturer, senior lecturer in the Department of Health Education. It is my field. It is my career. I was born to help people. I was born to educate health. So join me in this page, Kina Nwachukwu, and remain blessed. Thank you very much.